Hello everybody, welcome to episode 247 of Show Fever. Today I'll be going over JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 9, the JoJolands. So I will not be discussing, I guess not really doing, I will be discussing it, but I won't be doing a recap of the story, so there will be spoilers, though I won't be doing a direct recap because the arc is not over yet. We're actually only 38 chapters deep, and just moving on to Act 2. So I guess let's kind of discuss what I really liked about JoJo's Land so far, and how I think JoJolands is as compared to other parts. So, as I kind of go over Jodio, I feel like I'm gonna have to grow. I feel like I'm gonna have to get more development on him to start liking him. And I do like him and like Dragona's backstory, and I really like Dragona as a character. Dragona is super cool. I like smooth operators as a stand, and yeah. So, but Jodio, because Jodio is the other Joestar. Because we do have two Joestars here. We have Dragona and we have Jodio. They're siblings, and they are the grandchild of Joseph Joestar because they are cousins to Josuke, technically, or what would be Yoshikage Kira in the alternate universe. So, got this, this is kind of how they're all related. Their mother, can't remember what her name is, but she is the sister of Holly Kira. Yeah, not Holly Yoshikage. But yeah, so Jodio, he is technically a psychopath, and he just he's a little bit like Giorno, and Part 9 is considered to be like closely associated with Part 5. And he's just kind of blank a little bit. Now, he does have a moral compass and all that, and I'd honestly say, even at this moment, I do kind of like him more than Giorno, because he shows, Giorno shows, like, complexity to him too, but, like, so does Jodio. Jodio shows that he actually cares about the people around him. Like, he does a lot of the crazy things that he does, like, even in his childhood, to protect those who he loves. Dragona, in most cases. However, he, in, like, other cases, like, more recent chapters, when we've seen in Act 2 as, they're looking for Usagi's mother and sister Tori, that Jodio, like, there's one panel that's honestly kind of cute where Jodio is consoling Usagi, or at least trying to. So I just like that. Now, like I said, I don't know if he'll end up being one of my favorite Joestars, because he's just not really the type of character I like. I do like characters that are as crazy, but like I don't necessarily like him at the moment. Like, I like him, but like it's not that he just like really separate themselves from a lot of the other Joestars. So I'll just have to see what comes of them. Now, the supporting cast. The supporting cast have produced my favorite character in this arc so far. So amongst the main group, you can have a little main group, and in this group is Dragona Joestar, Jodio Joestar, Paco Luberantes or something like that. Usagi, like Aloha Mola. I can't remember. It's like Aloha Hue. I don't know. And then for the first part of the story, we have Charming Man. I love Charming Man. Charming Man is my favorite character in all of JoJolands so far. And I don't even know if we're going to see him again, because he is currently not with the group as they're searching for Usagi's mother and sister. But Charming Man, I love him, and I love his stand, Big Mouth Strikes Again, because I'm a huge Smith fan. I was a Smith fan before the, what was it? Crap. Why am I forgetting? Heaven knows I'm miserable now. Yeah, that's it. Got popular. Yeah, I've been a Stan, not a Stan, but a Smith fan. Oh my gosh, a Smiths fan for about 2 years now, since my girlfriend put me on him. So, I just really like Big Mouth Strikes Again as a stand, and I also like it. I mean, I generally just like it as a stand, besides the name, because it is super cool. It honestly kind of reminds me of Gaara's sand, or Shikaku, in Naruto, because it just essentially like creates a boundary around Charming Man, and he can do similar things. Like, he can create eyes with it and all of that, because at one point we see as he creates a small eye to go into Usagi as he's being attacked by this stand called Bag's Groove, which is one of my favorite stands so far in Part 9 as well, who's owned by this girl named Lulu, who is possibly the illegitimate daughter of Howler, who's kind of like the main villain at the moment. But yeah, so super like Charming Man, and I like his backstory. I just like him as a character. I love his stand. So yeah, I guess that he was my favorite. Now, probably second would be Usagi or Paco, because I really like Paco. It's probably just a three-way tie, honestly, between Dragona, Paco, and Usagi. Maybe Usagi a little bit higher. I'm starting to like Paco more and more as I get to see more of him, but I just really like Usagi because he's goofy, and like he doesn't really fit in with the group. However, he is just a super cool character. Like, I love how goofy he is, and his stand is kind of cool. I can't remember what his name is exactly. It's like Mutusabe or something like that. It starts with an M. And how it works is you have to request it to turn to something, and it'll turn into like anything. But yeah. So I guess out of the other main cast stands, like I said, Dragona has smooth operators. And it essentially can produce like these little stands that kind of like Sex Pistols in a way, where it just moves stuff. Like it can shift like full things. Like on a person's face, it can move their mouth to like their ear or something like that. Then for Paco's stand, it is called, I think it's called Sticky Fingers or something like that. And essentially his stand like incorporates in his body. He can just absorb things into his body, which makes it very good for stealing stuff, which he does frequently. And then for JoJo Joestar, the main character stand, is November Rain. November Rain is honestly a super cool stand. I love November Rain's design because it's very different as compared to all the other stands we've seen from the mainline Joestars. And how it works is like it's got these like four prongs, and it looks like a drill almost, and then it has like a robotic humanoid face. And what it does is it allows, well, it summons rain. However, this rain is affected by gravity, and JoJo can like control the gravity with which it attacks, which is super cool. But yeah, so then I guess we're going to get onto the villains. Now we've seen a lot of villains. Well, not really a lot of villains. We've seen about 5 villains, and not counting like Lulu and Bobby Jean, but Bobby Jean does need to be counted. But I guess I'd say who my favorite villain is so far. Now I'm not a big fan of Howler personally because I just haven't really got a lot on him, and he just kind of seems like a bit of a turd. But like then the other group that we get to see as they start to like raid the mega yacht which Howler owns and all that, and try and get his land deeds, well, at least the crew does, and Meryl May, who is like the boss over all of them. She's kind of like the Dawn of JoJo's little group. But yes, I'm just not a massive fan of him. However, Bobby Jean, as I mentioned, he is super cool. I really like Bobby Jean, even though he already gets killed by JoJo. But yeah, Bobby Jean is super cool. I love his stand. Well, I don't necessarily love his stand. It's just honestly kind of cool because what he does is he like shoots his pistol and the bullets slow down. So that's just kind of cool. And he can essentially like shoot him at like a very quick pace, like someone doesn't even notice. So it's like essentially like kind of just shooting them generally, but like it's cool. And then you have like Key West and all of her group. I'd honestly say out of that group, Ningbo is probably my favorite because he just kind of has a super like cool design. He's like a firefighter, but he has a weird face, kind of like that one dude from Berserk who looks like he has a mask on with like the very ominous eyes, and then like the big like brick looking nose. Ningbo kind of looks like that, but his stand, what it essentially does is wherever he touches, it can blow up. It just starts swelling until it blows up. We see this take the fingers of multiple of our main crew. But yeah, so out of the villains, I'd say Bobby Jean's probably my favorite, with Ningbo being second, and then probably Key West being third. But yeah, so I also forgot about Mundra, who is the villain of like the arc where we see is they're at the zoo and all of that, trying to find Usagi's mom. And Mundra, he's cool, but like he's just kind of a throwaway villain because the big thing that's known about Mundra is John Rod, because he gets killed by John Rod. And honestly, I gotta admit, I was super hyped to get to the chapter where John Rod appears, chapter 38, which is the most recent chapter. And it was honestly super cool. I really liked it, and I had my own theories about John Rod, so I have made a short on one of my theories on John Rod, so I hope you go and check that out if you want to. But yeah, so that's like the villain stance. Now, the general like concept, like the, I guess, goal of JoJo. And the goal of JoJo is to become filthy rich. That's as basic as that. However, we see as these lava rocks start coming into the play of the story after he ends up stealing one from Rohan Kishibe, who is essentially the exact same Rohan as in the other universe, and has the exact same thing. He still has Heaven's Door, so I don't know how this ended up happening, but yeah, he does. So we see him, and he had this lava rock. Ultimately, what the lava rock does, it is if you touch something and like and I think it's just touch something. I don't think you have to make it yours. But like if you touch something and then you leave, it will somehow come back to you. We see this done with like a watch. We see it done with some money and just assorted other things. And they try and use this to get a land deed at one point. But yeah, so I kind of like the concept. Just the idea of JoJo's goal being to become filthy rich, I'm not big on that. It's not really a good driver for me. However, I do like the lava rocks and how they're starting to be incorporated, and how, like, just learning how they work and how they're formed, where they come from and stuff like that, slowly through Rohan, because Rohan was the one who discovered them, or not discovered them, because the Howler family had them previously, but Rohan is like the modern person to discover them, because the Howler family had actually lost their lava rocks. But yeah, so what else is there? Like I said, the general stand design is really cool. I didn't even really speak on Bag's Groove too much, but Bag's Groove, it kind of reminded me of a Part 3 stand. I can't remember what the stand was, but essentially Bag's Groove, like, shrinks down to like a microscopic size and goes into people's like bodies and just destroys them from the inside out, which is cool. But yeah. So talked about villains, talked about stands. Generally, all the stand designs are really good. They are very unique. Like none of them are very samey. And I'd say probably the one that's closest to like a Part 8 stand, so like the last part stand would probably be Howler's. I don't think it has a name yet, but it is honestly kind of cool. I'm really ready to learn what its ability is because we didn't actually get a description of what its ability is. It just kind of like summoned some mist, killed a dude, or at least one of the Navy or Marines, whatever they were, they're on the mega yacht. So yeah. And also, I'm really ready to see who the actual main villain is. Because Howler is not the actual main villain. We can presume that the actual main villain's stand is John Rod. However, we don't know for certain. We just know that there is a person who is essentially working to find the lava rocks and stuff like that, come into possession of them, and that they were on the mega yacht when it was sinking. However, it was not Howler because Howler didn't even know he had a stand until recently. His stand isn't John Rod. And I'd bet a pretty penny that John Rod is the main villain stand, or at least one of the higher up stands, because this is a very powerful stand, even though we haven't seen much of it. So yeah, I guess what else is there really? I think that's all there really is, like the driving factors and all of that. Like I've really liked the antagonists so far. Like I said, there are some misses, but like predominantly they've all been hits. But yeah, art's great as usual. So, oh yeah, I just gotta kind of discuss where I would rank it at the moment. So, Part 9. Where I would rank it at the moment, I think... Okay, so it wouldn't be my top 3, absolutely. It would not be my top 3. I don't even know if it'd break my top 5, honestly. Would it? What's in my top 5? We got... Part 6 in lower top 5. Because I got a tie in Part 2, and which we call it, rank 2 with Part 8 and Part 4. So, I'd say it'd break my top 5. I don't think it's better than Stone Ocean, obviously, not yet. And it'll be kind of contentious with Golden Wind. It's not better than Golden Wind at the moment, so I think it would probably be in a solid 7th place at the moment, but it's not over yet. So we just gotta see how this plays out, and it might end up being a masterpiece. It might end up blowing Golden Wind out of the water somehow. It might end up on my top 3, but I don't know. I can't predict that at the moment, so I'm just really ready to see how this plays out and where JoJo's Lands will end up going. So yeah, that's all I really have to say about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 9, the JoJo Lands, and that's all I really have for episode, I believe, 247 of Shelf Review. So, thank you very much for watching.